So, hello. So you're probably wondering, why is this young kid topping up here in the middle of Swansea doing this talk? Well, I'm from Chepstow. I've kind of built quite a large team within the valleys, basically portfolio building. It's what we've done for about 4 or 5 years now. The main thing for this presentation is the fact that it wasn't always like that. Genuinely, the first 18 months were painful. Didn't have a clue what you're doing, finding the right mentors, kind of right location, etc. So let's get into that. So essentially, my question for all you guys is, obviously, have you all been involved in property? Is there anyone else here who's not into property yet? Hands up if you're involved in property so far. Round the back. Okay, so everyone's pretty much effectively involved. Have you ever felt struggle in any way? Yeah. So however long you've been doing this for, has there any been struggle day to day? Put your hands up. So, okay. So basically the point is, property is really hard. It doesn't matter what strategy you do, doesn't matter kind of what approach you do. That's kind of how I've seen it. And yeah, basically I've felt significant struggle in my journey so far twice. This presentation is pretty much about number 2 because that came later on, essentially. There's a reason to point out number 2 because it's easier to explain. So, again, that's the 12-year-old kid over there. I basically have a portfolio building service. I'm from Chepstow, but all of the portfolio building is in the valleys, literally just above Cardiff. I've been investing myself for just under a decade, even though I get, look young and all that malarkey. All of it's in South Wales. For clients, for ourselves, it's all in the valleys. I started building my portfolio in Chepstow, moved on to the valleys from there, essentially. This is kind of an overview of the past 5 years. I would say I'm quite ambitious, but I'm very bad at having vision. So it's a case of I've got a lot of energy I want to apply to something, but not knowing exactly what the goal is was my biggest downfall since day one, and I'm still pretty bad with it now, to be honest with you. However, in 4 to 5 years, I've grown my portfolio significantly. I've got a team of 8, believe it or not, within the company, within the sourcing business. We do probably about 8 to 10 projects a month, and I'll show you kind of how that's formulated from this. So 2019, if not 2020, COVID, we love that word. I used to be a sparky electrician, and I did an apprenticeship, got qualified, was a sparky for like 3-4 years, whatever. Essentially, I loved work and I loved working hard. I actually loved the long hours. I loved being busy, I loved being occupied. But one thing I hated was when I was testing electrics in a field and it was -3 in the middle of winter. Personally, I really respect sparkies for it. I just didn't have it in me to kind of do that for decades, essentially. And that was that. I already had a house, I was investing my money already. I've always been a big case of try different things. I had a residential, I had a buy-to-let, etc. But I felt lost, if I'm totally honest with you. So kind of like you want to do something more. What that is, who knows? So I got educated. I'm sure we've all heard of Jamie York on YouTube through his property education. Went on YouTube, found Jamie York, did a bit of education with Aspire, his education program. Also went to Progressive. I'm sure you all know Progressive as well, Rob Moore. I basically tried different mentors and different things for that first 12 months, even to figure out, because I was very naive, incredibly naive. What the hell am I going to do? How can I get this goal that I don't even know what the goal is? How can I make this work? Again, very naive, like I said. So yeah, first year was just gain experience. You'll also laugh at this because I was silly enough to think that property is one thing, building a business is a whole different matter. So you can sit there and think, I want to get into property. The whole point of property that I've learned over the years is to build a cash flow and sustainable business, hence limited companies, depending on your approach. At least that's how I look at it. So I had no budgeting, I had no actual cash flow, had no clients. You are genuinely going in completely blind to something. And yeah, I can make a lot of comments about training back then, but in all, it was on me to take accountability with that. Did a lot of networking, so well done for being here and all that malarkey, because connections and people are everything. Believe me, I've been to a lot of networking events. You do see the variations, whether it's property, business, general networking. There's a lot of pros and cons to each, and I think it's good to be aware of doing all different networking. So credit to this, really, really good. So yeah, that was a positive thing, by the way. So one of the biggest things for me is kind of finding people you resonate with. who you can trust, who you actually want to build a connection with. And sounds contradictory, but don't make it so transactional. Really have long-term visions with people. And again, coming from someone who looks 12 years old and is only 30 years old, like genuinely, I really believe that. Values are everything. Again, the first year was a nightmare. Had mentors who were figuring out X, Y, and Z. I didn't know what I was doing, and I had to make a change, because reality is, my mentors were getting me to a point, and there was no actual business with it. There was no goal, no idea what I was doing. So essentially, I got a brand new mentor, changed everything for me, from purely a sourcing point of view, because I was still building a portfolio, etc., happy days, still doing the same properties, but reality is, like, I wanted more, essentially. Got kind of bored with not doing anything.
Did you mention who the new mentor is?
So Liam Davis. So he actually lives in the valleys. He's honestly not that well known, but I tell you what, he is genuinely one of the best things that ever happened to me, because it went from having no vision, no goal, no reality, no actual structure, to having someone who could actually teach you to build something. And it's kind of like, you got all this energy for a goal, how do you actually kickstart it to actually create the machine to make it work there? That was missing. So Liam genuinely saved me and my business in that sense.
And that doesn't mean that the other mentors weren't any good. They just weren't right for you. So there's a chemistry thing as well.
Yeah. It's a very, you could discuss that all day, honestly. Like, they were right, but also I didn't know what I wanted. I was just a little kid turning up from a YouTube video, wanted to make something happen. I didn't even know what that was. And it was, I genuinely think it's a bit of a dangerous thing, where before you get into property, have a goal, have a vision of what you actually want from it. And I'll feed into shortly, like every client who reaches out to us, what do you actually want from this? What's your goal? What's your target to facilitate that? And I was the complete opposite of that at the beginning, honestly. So yeah, and also marketing. I've realized marketing is huge for this, and I didn't know I didn't know what an Instagram Reel was. I didn't know they existed, which says a lot. So anyway. So I kind of sat down with a mentor and thought, okay, what's the goal here? Why did I start it? What's my reason for wanting it? Because at the end of the day, I don't know about everyone here, but family's a big thing. For me, it's a case of, can you grow a business to help the family, help yourself? What do you actually want from growing said business, right? My short answer, which sounds probably cheesy as hell, is I love helping people. Genuinely, if you can sit down, which I'll feed into shortly, and be like, hey, Bob, for example, like, I can help you over the next 5-10 years do what you're trying to do. What better feeling is that? You can literally help fund their future in an indirect way. So yeah, I love the financial aspects and the potential financial profits of property, but the reality is that's just the outcome. The input is actually what you put into it to help people. Again, sounds cheesy, but that's my thought process. So yeah, working with good people as we go. So for example, I don't know how this is going to scroll, by the way, so if it scrolls and messes up, let me know. So this is Anka, and she's a perfect example of exactly the sort of person I love. She's a family person. She's just over 40 years old, but age doesn't really matter. She has a family. Her kids are literally 8 and 12. Over the next 5 years, she wants to build a portfolio for them to literally help fund their university. To me, what better reason is there to have a business that literally helps people build for their kids in the future? That's genuinely like the gold dust to me. So yeah, we had a good chat. I met her last week. She's from Birmingham. Met on social media, well, connected on social media. Then came down, obviously did some content as always, milk. But yeah, that's genuinely kind of how that came about. And it's genuinely having good intentions with it. Like I said, wants to build their children's future, have a legacy portfolio, etc. One of the biggest things for me, which I'll feed onto shortly, is the danger, from my opinion, and I'm sure everyone's got a different opinion on this, of having short-term metrics of all this. Every time I hear someone come up to me saying, hey, I want this within a year or something, to me it's a big red flag personally. And I'm thinking, like, I'm sure there's lots of different opinions on this, but I just see short-term metrics within property as a concern. And I don't think it's achievable most of the time. And people have unrealistic expectations, and that's my honest opinion on that. So when people come up to me over a 5-year period and say, I want to build this, I want to grow, I want to gradually increase this, to me, that's what I can help. So yeah, that's that. Oh, perfect, it does go. So Paul on the right-hand side is from London. He works a lot, he loves working. I resonate with him a lot, he's very sound. Paul on the left is my build team, so ignore him. He'll hate me for saying that, so what's up? So from London, he wants to, again, he's got kids, he wants to build for their future. They're about 10 years old, same principle. It's not a complicated principle. They want to build for 5-10 years, accumulate, we help them, they do it remotely, happy days. And these are all, I'll show you in a second, these are all single lets in South Wales, by the way. We don't touch HMOs, we just do buy-to-lets, BR model, buy, renovate, refinance, as you all go, well, you all know. And yeah, he's chuffed. I did an interview with him last time on our YouTube channel, and he's pretty pumped with it. The fact that we literally found a property for him, renovated it all, he turned up just to say hello to us essentially. So I thought it was pretty cool. Here's an example of another client from Northampton. Again, these are standard buy, renovate, refinance projects, bought with equity from day one, renovated, almost a full refurb. Our full refurbs were about 32k, give or take, so this was just under. I think we didn't do the central heating or something, we didn't need to, but ignore that. Bought for, again, 57.5 grand, renovation 28, end value 105. We had the end value come in officially 2 weeks ago, so hence putting this up because it's kind of like almost like a live ad in a way. Gross rental is 725, and then equity net. All of the cash ROIs on our projects are around about 18 to 20%, give or take, first year plus cash flow. Yeah, that's the bread and butter of those. Funny story with this one, and probably shouldn't say it because he'll kill me, but we did the refurb and everything, and then we checked the loft afterwards to get the installation done, and we found loads of drug needles in. So that was a mistake on our side, or we had to check that before, so big boo-boo from us. I wasn't going to mention that, but yeah, just thought I'd check it in. So again, got the compliant people in to rectify the issue, got it resolved. Sam came down, the client, and was like, okay, happy days, now we can actually rent this out. Here's the spec of that particular property, post refurb, as you can tell. So new carpets, fully plastered, new electrics. Again, as you guys know, literally having something structurally sound, good quality flooring. The whole idea of us existing, again, to continue to suck eggs here is pretty much a case of put the money in now so you can set and forget about it. Does not easier said than done, of course, with tenants, etc. But the ideal situation is you can spend the money now, renovate it to a good standard, structurally sound, leave it alone. So you can see the spec we go for, nice and clean, dark flooring, nice bright white walls. Standard kitchen for us as well, so nice and bright flooring. Vinyl, we love it, it's hard wearing, etc. Tiling, etc. Bright colours. Bright colours always kind of make the house look bigger as well, that's what we find. All that kind of stuff. And bathroom, again, good colouring, good vinyl flooring, etc. Spotlights in there. Again, from a renovation, it's very standard finish for buy-to-let, but it's put the money in now, forget about it. Everything we do is to target an EPCC rating. Everyone know why? Anyone want to jump in? EPCC? There we go, we love the government. So yeah, expecting what, 2020, I think, potentially to come into place. So always make sure LED lighting's involved, loft insulation, TRVs, thermostat on the boiler, etc. Just make sure your EPCC rating's there for the installation. Just, again, spend the money now, set and forget about it, leave it alone. Ideal situation, you know, sometimes you've got like a semi-detached property that's hard to do, just find out what can be done, etc. But that's essentially that. Yo.
So lenders, I didn't realise this because I was just refinancing. So lenders as well, you've got a C or above, you're getting a better rate than.
Yes, we've had this recently. We had I've had 2 projects recently that came into a D rating. They were turnkey, so like we didn't do much refurb anyway, and the lender pool dropped significantly. So obviously I talked to the broker and everything, and literally bang on, literally like it went from like an expected pool of lenders to a decreased amount. So we went in there. I think we put insulation in, did X, Y, and Z. It was only about 3k worth of works. Got to a C rating, and then they got about a 5% rate in it, interest rate, and they were pretty happy with it. So spot on.
You got John and Leanne. Anything else? Yeah. Do you think that's going to happen more regularly now?
Yeah, 100%. You get a lot better deals with C and above. E and below, lenders kind of looking and know.
And some of the lenders give you cash back as well. So if you're doing a VRR, if you get it above a C, they'll give you cash back,
Right.
or they'll give you a better rate. So with bridging as well, if you bring it up. Bridging the property, they'll give you a lower rate of bridging as well if you're going to bring it up by 25 points on the EPC.
And what's the single most effective thing you can do to get the EPC up?
Solar.
Yeah.
That's the expensive answer. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is solar. Solar is a simple thing, isn't it?
I'll shut up next time.
I was going to say something.
You reeled that in, didn't you? You were reeling it in. So yeah, bang on. Do you guys find there's a big lender difference between C and D and C, sorry?
Yeah.
No?
No,
It's not massive.
it's, at the moment, it's a bit of a red herring. You do get better rates, but then the companies that give you the better rates, actually sometimes there's a cheaper alternative that just
Interesting.
don't get.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
to be fair, it's working with your broker before you even start and going, right,
Touche.
what do I need to do? If I'm going to spend 15 grand on getting this to a C, how much better is my mortgage going to be? Well, actually, if I get it to a D,
Yeah.
and it's only going to cost me 10 grand, is that 5 grand extra to make you better? Because let's be honest, the regulation's not coming in anytime soon. They're going to knock you back and knock you back. There's all the Welsh houses, they're not even going to be compliant unless they put solar or something on. They're just not. Some of them just can't get to C, especially with oil. So I think there's going to be a lot of gal jail free cars for landlords when it does happen.
Yeah.
Actually, I've got oil or I've got stone brick wall.
Or you've got basements like most properties as
So I've got a
well.
basement.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. No, I think honestly, I think that's really important. So you factor in your costs, don't you?
Do exit before you buy.
Yeah, spot on. Yeah.
There's no point in buying.
Yeah, because you can lock in the lender, but get your exit. No, I think that's really smart. It's good. And again, literally, so those two clients are two examples. Again, portfolio building, etc. That's basically that really from there. Again, like I said, one of the biggest mistakes I see is people having short-term metrics and short-term thinking of all this. Every time someone comes up to me saying, hey, I want to build this over a year, I'm like, well, I can't help you. Simple as that. Like it doesn't grow on trees that quickly. That's one thing I would say. And the model, the reason I love it is it's it's simple and effective. You can scale it aggressively and it's a simple model. You've got the same exit each time depending on the property itself, and it just makes life easier to have the same bread and butter concept every time. At least I like simple things, so there we go. And again, so every single client we work with has got a 5-year plan. Before we take on anybody, they got a 5-year plan which is a guideline. It's not set in stone, but it's a case of saying, based on where you are here now, capital-wise, situation-wise, what is your goal? What's your exit? What's your actual target of all this? Year upon year, how are we going to achieve that? So they know exactly what we're even going to do for them. How many properties? And it's more like being realistic with it than giving false expectations. Because otherwise, if you've got crazy numbers from the start, it's going to collapse. It's not going to work, right? Also, tax efficiency. So again, we're not tax advisor, but it's kind of saying what I know, and then we have certain people that can feed into that, again, limited companies, etc., etc. And everything is remote. Everything is WhatsApp, email, and that's the short answer to that. Everything can be internet-based now. I've probably only met about 20% of my clients, and we've got clients in Dubai, in America. It's, again, social media, international. It doesn't really matter where they're from, depending on lending, of course, criteria with that. Like, factor in the lending, and then you can work in from there, and of course, who's the beneficiaries and all that malarkey. But again, everything's done remotely. We got clients all over the world, literally. It's actually crazy. I did chat with a client from Brazil yesterday, and sitting there, like, how do you, like I'm posting this from like South Wales valleys. Like, how do you even reach out? It's nuts. But like, it's a good thing. You know, you can literally help anyone from anywhere. Again, shows the power of social media, source of property, renovate it, refinance, standard protocol. So today we have, just to stop boring you with this, we've got a team of 8 that we've grown, whether that's the sourcing team, whether that's the marketing team, whether that's the sales progression. I'm really, really proud of it because we don't need to grow anymore. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, but for me, the biggest focus for us moving forward is genuinely having a strong, like a family value aspect, rather than having a large team that's trying to take over an area. Like, to me, it's genuinely having a reliable team that provides good service over everything. And I didn't start this to have this takeover principle. Genuinely, that's kind of my mindset. Have a core team that works really well, good reputation, and we can actually grow from there. We're doing probably about 8 to 12 projects a month now in terms of sourcing. I'm buying probably about 4 to 6 a year myself, and probably want to double that next year, depending on how I kind of approach it. All the same properties, single-let properties, renovate them, etc. The same principle, rinse and repeat. And then one of our core focuses, make sure people are looked after, genuinely. Like, the whole reason for the 5-year plan is that every step along the way, help people. Again, sounds cheesy, I know, but it's genuinely kind of how I look at it. And of course, we do a lot of social media, literally like YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Chuck a camera on, I'll just talk in front of it like this and just ramble on forever and completely bore people. we got a really good team, genuinely. Might have a chat with you later on about all this, but we've got literally brokers, stagers, letting agents, got the whole team there, the builders. Shout out CP, genuinely, I can't fault them in any way. Communication, one of the biggest things I see is people panic when there's problems. You expect problems. I truly believe in property, you expect problems, it's how you rectify the issue. It's being time efficient, it's communicating, and it's rectifying it quickly. And this goes for build teams, letting agents, everything, even your broker. We've had a few refinances come in recently because of moisture and damp. It's not been lendable. The buyer panics straight away. It's genuinely about having a calm, composed thing. Say that's okay. What's the solution to it? And as you know yourself every day, like it's really having a solution-oriented mindset, and it's again helping people properly. Calm them down first. Say, look, we do this every day. It's a simple model. Therefore, we can rectify the issue quickly. So that's kind of the rumble on that. Future plans, literally, again, scale up the portfolio aggressively. Single lets all day. I'm a bit biased on my own because I do social housing for mine and they're an absolute pain. So hopefully radio homes don't ever hear this, but literally I'm going to stay away from social housing for this reason because I've had 7 visits this month alone and it's horrible. Quality over quantity with us, literally fewer clients, but literally more intimately with them. In that way, really get to know and help them. And this Q4 I'm excited for. We've got a lot of systems being built this year, this rest of the year. And one thing that I love that I haven't touched on is traveling. Everything I can do besides content is pretty much from my laptop and phone. So all the mobile content I said about clients, I can do from my phone, laptop, etc. It's all internet based. My whole team's remote besides the viewers. So everything we do is completely hands off in that sense for myself. So I'm going to go to Asia in January. I'm going to go to skiing and stuff. So not to brag, it's genuinely just say like you build your lifestyle around it, and it's kind of what is your goal? Have a business that fulfills a lifestyle. How do you fulfill that into what you do? That's kind of the whole reason when Liam came into this, or my current mentor, shout out Jackie, how they came into this. My current mentor, she goes skiing 4 times a year, and she has a business like this, and it's like, surely instead of like having a drive towards nothing, you actually have a goal there of being like, okay, financial freedom to you is either having the peace of mind to actually sit down and read a book for half an hour if you want without interruption, or go skiing on the weekend. Like to me, that is, or help your kids, help your family, whatever fits your bill. But same principle, you have the freedom to choose what you want to do with your time. To me, that's the reason for doing property or any business, right? So that's that. So again, lots of traveling. Again, we're on social media, but don't stress about malarkey, take forever. But yeah, if you want to give us a follow, just let me know. Yeah, that's basically that, guys. Any Q&A? I don't know what you want to do, but it's up to you.
Victoria?
Oh, God.
Question.
Pass the mic.
Do you want a mic?
I can speak very loudly.
Go on,
That's
Ian.
helpful.
Yeah, go on then.
You scare me.
I'm curious because you mentioned that you've got very good collaboration with your teams and you do everything remotely.
Yes.
I was wondering, what do you do? What kind of tools do you use to maybe improve that collaboration? Or
Good
what do
question.
you do? Do you have like check-ins or meetings, or do you use any tools like I mentioned to collaborate better? How do you make sure that communication is clear and that you all know what you're all standing on?
That's such a good question. Communication is everything, literally. And I'd say WhatsApp is the best thing. I've spent the past 3 months trying to study like Slack and all these other apps to be like, is there a better way to communicate these things with people? Because it's like having a professional like channel and then let's say a public channel, 2 different things. It's genuine. WhatsApp helps a lot. Emails and all that. We have a check-in almost every single week. I talk to my broker every day. I talk to my letting agent every day. I talk to my solicitor every day, even though they reject me half the time because they're busy. But same principle. It's genuinely a case of having a daily check-in, and whether that's me or the team. Because one thing I don't want to do is chase people twice a day because then it just nags them and annoys them. It's genuinely a case of like, when there's issues, rectify them, be proactive as possible. But I think you're bang on, but I'm not sure direct answer. Literally just WhatsApp for everything. Have a daily check-in with everybody. We have at least every 1 to 2 weeks a check-in with every client, whether they're ongoing, whether they're waiting or whatnot, because again, you want to look after people, right? So I don't know if that answers your question, but that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
Bit of a long answer.
In your business, what platform do you use? Microsoft 365?
Well, it depends on what, because I've worked with all different kind of employees and worked with all different kind of people, and some use, we use Teams or email or WhatsApp. sometimes we use collaboration tools, so something like Notion as well, something that everybody can like see what is happening.
Yeah,
so that's
yeah.
why I'm really curious that it only worked with WhatsApp and just talking to one another, because
Yeah.
that means that there has to be really good transparency, that people really are open with one another.
Yeah, yeah, and I would actually like to get your feedback off that, genuinely. If you've got other ideas, like one of the biggest things for me is like, do we have other people who do this better than us? Genuinely, like if there's communication channels, etc., like Teams, for example, I think that's really cool. So, yeah, genuinely, like WhatsApp is our go-to. Picking up the phone is a better one, but if you've got other ideas, check them forward.
I was
just going to say there's loads of project management apps out there. So like
Yeah.
Jira, Clicker, Monday, all those.
We use Asana for everything right now.
I would see if I was doing it, I'd put it into that.
Yeah, no, we do.
All have a log,
Yeah.
you see what they-
I've got the whole team using Asana. One thing that I'm really excited for next year is Go High Level. It's essentially for me, because Asana is a task manager, essentially like a project management tool. I want to have a CRM that makes everything better, marketing as much as anything. So yeah, that's the thing behind that. But spot on, literally.
It would save you a lot of WhatsApp messages if they just all know where their next task is.
Oh, honestly, keeping things simpler, isn't it? I completely agree, honestly.
Running a webinar series on Go High Level, so I'll get you into that. But it is a good piece of kit.
It does everything, right?
And ultimately,
Yeah.
the world has changed in that it's outcome focused. So you don't want to be managing people minute by minute. You don't want people to be working Monday, Friday. Let people work when they want to work, when they're most effective. But as long as you've got a tool to say that's the outcome, and you can track the progress, and there's lots of tools that do that.
Yeah.
That's how you get quite a dynamic, forward-facing business. And also, your Gen Zs, your millennials, that's the way they want to operate. You and I don't. We're a bit different, but that is outcome focused. You know, that's what you want. If somebody does that in half the time of somebody else, who cares?
It's efficiency, isn't it? They're efficient with the thing. I got to say, tracking for us was difficult because you've got Asana which ticks it off, but
yeah, but these tools you can literally have these things called Kanban boards. I don't know if you've heard of those.
no.
Well, basically you just move things from like the in progress to the done.
Sorry, yeah, like a funnel in a way. I got you. Yeah.
Just see things move.
Yeah.
See its progress.
I love funnels. That's one thing I've realized recently. For literally, if you've got a funnel, whether it's a sales funnel or vendor funnel, lead funnel, I love them, honestly.
Yeah, this is similar. It's like a project. You've seen everything from the spec to the done.
Yeah, that's why I love the post-refit photos. You can see the before and after. But with that, you see the progression, right? It's nice.
It's a great question, Victoria. Who in the room thinks they're an entrepreneur? Everybody is. You know, you're running a business, like property investment or whatever. It's a business. You are an entrepreneur. You know, carpenter. You are an entrepreneur. And so, in order for you to progress, whatever you're doing, it's using the tools of today, using AI, and maximising that efficiency. But you're all entrepreneurs. You know, you're as good as anybody else is because you're running businesses, whatever that might be.
That's motivational. I like that. Hyping everyone up. I like that. Feeling energized. But yeah, that's that, guys.
So
Any more questions?
you've got a build team. Is it multiple builders, and how do you run your?
Oh, you asked that one question I hate because the build team kills me. I've got two build teams. Sorry, CP. I've got two build teams. I've got one build team that does pretty much everything. The other one that I'm trying to get to grow into what we do. I shouldn't say this, but again, all your eggs in one basket situation. You want to be careful with that. That's my blunt way to put it. But I got to say, it's when I don't know, the trust is there. When you have, it's like having a good solicitor. When you've got the trust there and it's built there, like having a good broker, for example, I think outweighs everything. And I'd rather have one really good person than two not so good, especially when you're providing a quality service. So yeah, two build teams is the short answer.
Do you have much involvement with the builds, like project management, or you how do you structure it?
Yeah, so what we do is we have two WhatsApp groups. We have a WhatsApp group for the client, which has got me and the team in it, so we can help with sales progression, etc. Then we have a WhatsApp group with the refurb team, where they've got the builders, the project management, myself, and my assistant in there. And literally that means we can just keep things on track. So we can do a weekly check-in with the build team. They organise probably every 7 to 10 days a video update of the walkthrough of the property. And then we've got the project management who organises that to make sure that's all sweet. Anything else needs to be filled in. They comes to me if there's a panic or something. And it's kind of that system we got. But we got literally like 20 million refurb chats now because it's all built up, which is why I think maybe having the software for communication is better. But yeah. Exactly. It's something I want to figure out, because having a million different refurb chats is good, but it's also like, is there a smarter way to do this maybe? But that's genuinely my thought process with it. But
how long is it taking these projects?
if we do a full refurb, you're probably talking about 14 to 16 weeks. I had one recently that took a bit longer because that was a bit of rendering, but full refurb, if you've got a new roof in, probably 16 weeks. If you've got a standard full refurb, again, 14 weeks. So I'd say most of our projects take about 12 weeks because they're just under. But again, it varies, like depending on the weather, depending on illnesses. I had the build team text me today about one of the painters broke his finger on the way. Like, oh, here we go. So it happens every day. It's genuinely about accepting things and just working with it. But yeah, that's why every project takes about 6 months. 2-3 months of purchase and then about 3 months of renovation. That's going to vary a lot depending on the project itself and solicitors. But I find the refurb's more predictable than the solicitors nowadays, in my opinion, because of various reasons. You know, some solicitors communicate well but don't actually do anything. But yeah, not going to talk too badly about everyone. Because,
do you have, if you manage stuff from like many countries and all this sort of stuff, and
yep.
at a distance, yeah, how do you sort of communicate problems to them and ask them what the decisions are and stuff like that? Or
to be honest with you, the people who do it abroad tend to be people who want us to take control of it, because they can see through YouTube, through the documentation of what we do, exactly what we do. And it's genuinely more of a case of them being like, I've got the capital, you do your thing. And it's kind of like, then we make the plan based upon making sure that the exit we're going to do is what they actually want. Therefore, okay, let's get it going. Because it's genuinely, the refurb spec is very, very similar. It's more supersatural per property, but the spec is there. So it's genuinely like, talk to them every week, especially if they never even want to come over. It's just communication at the end of the day, and jumping on the call if they need to. So.
Another question, last one. So after all the clients get in touch with you for your service, how many do you turn people down? What's the...
Yeah, I'd say the values are the biggest issue. Because at the end of the day, I've genuinely had some people who are, let's say, more business orientated, and therefore the respect's not there. And for us, we can help you if you want us to help you. And it's kind of like seeing on the same page sort of thing. So I'd say if there's not shared values or something, regardless of how much money you have, regardless of your goals, like if there's a problem and you're short-tempered or something, if something's not there, the respect isn't there, when things go wrong, you're not going to allow us to help you properly. It's pointless just helping you, because it's like everything is a case of wanting to work together. You build your kid's future, we help you do that. If there's no shared values there, it's the same as an employee, right? Literally, same thing. You know, it's the same concept. You want to be around good people you can genuinely help. And I see the team as a big thing. One thing I've learned recently is like, and again, which is my naive business mindset, is like, your team, what are their goals? What are their ambitions, right? So it's kind of like, how can you help them achieve their stuff? I've got half the team want to build portfolios now. So I'm like, great, let's get you doing it. So it's kind of like, it's how can you help you raise capital to do that? So I find everyone's got ambitions, whether it's your clients or whether it's your team or whatnot, get everyone growing together, because everyone will come up together at the same time. So maybe I'm not optimist, who knows? But yeah, that's my thought process with it.
So. I got a good idea for you. We'll talk